Oh yeah, we work on it a lot, and I finally feel like some of those things are paying off for us. And the play that Mello intercepted, actually, that's exactly the play that we had worked on. Really had 2 different days during the week because they had shown that before, and they had really done the same thing, and he was ready for it, and there it was, right. And then at the end of the game, that was we just had to, backs to the wall there again. It'll get a little bit, but I'm not on the sideline, but guys just talking to other coaches on the sideline, they were just commenting how confident guys were, and we were pretty determined not to let them in the end zone. So it's just good football.
You've talked a lot about the journey that a lot of your senior guys have gone through, whether it's being really undersized, for their positions like Caleb Taylor, O.J. Burrows, Melo Dotson, all those guys. Do you have kind of a soft spot for this senior class and the way that they've grown with you guys?
Yeah, I feel like it's a whole matriculation of their careers, and really my time here, our a lot of our staff's guys' time here. So I just really appreciate the fact that they stayed and have really worked hard and developed to be able to play high level football, and really went from our first year they were unprepared and not ready, and to now where we're really got a lot of those guys are playing at the top of their game. So I feel I'm excited for them. I'm not to that point to being sad or anything. I'm excited for them, and I just really want things to for them to play their best here at the end.
The pass rush, and especially getting with 4, has been kind of a frequent topic of conversation this year. How important would that be How important would that be this week, and what have you seen from those guys recently in that domain?
Yeah, I thought we did a really good job last week of keeping the quarterback in the pocket, and got to him a little bit, and quite honestly, he got hit when he was throwing, and we weren't always bringing a bunch of guys and pressure. So I thought was really one of the keys to the game for us is that last week, and this week it's the same. We always mix up calls and bring pressure some hopefully different spots and challenge people that way, but there's times we just got to be able to pass rush. I think their offensive line, Colorado's offensive line, is way better than what last year's version was. They've done a really good job, and but I think there's still some opportunity for us. And if you look at the conference leaders in sacks, our 2 starting DNs are in the top 5, I think. So, I feel like we're going to be able to mount some pressure versus them. I'd be surprised if we don't. Be disappointed if we don't. So we're planning on getting after it that way.
Brian, do you see Shedeur Sanders? Do you see him moving around a lot and running?
Yeah, that's some of the best thing that they do, in my opinion, is when there maybe is a little bit of rush, or maybe the initial coverage is pretty good, his ability to stay alive, escape pressure, and just kind of drift along and pat the ball and wait for things to happen. And I'm sure that's something they work on a lot, scramble drills and things like that, because receivers seem to know, hey, they put their foot in the ground and they get places, and a lot of their, not all of them, but a lot of their big plays are plays like that where it's probably not it's not necessarily the initial route that was drawn up. It's what happens after that. So he's really good at that stuff, and he's not that he can't run the ball, because he can and does. And I think particularly if he can smell the goal line, he's or a critical first down, he's good at that stuff. But I know he's trying to keep it alive. They've got a lot of good receivers, so stay alive and get the ball to those dudes.
Brian, would you say in the passing game as a defense, this is probably your biggest challenge?
Yeah, in some ways, for sure. Not a formation challenge necessarily, but a personnel challenge for sure. And they sort of do what they do. I think they're pretty smart in recognizing the type of talent that they have, and get the ball to those guys in space, get the ball out of the quarterback's hand quick a lot of times, and give those guys a little bit of space, and they can really make it happen. So from that standpoint, it's a big challenge, just in terms of trying to corral the personnel, the players that they have once they do get the ball on their hands on the ball. So we talk about it every day. We try to working on it in practice and as best we can, and hopefully, you know, again, our guys will rise to that occasion on Saturday, because maybe they're going to do a bunch of different stuff. I wouldn't if I was them, but you know, get the ball to those guys and let them work, and we've got to challenge that way for sure.
On that note, what makes Travis Hunter such a special wide receiver?
Well, you know, because he's fast, he's quick, he's elusive, he makes contested catches, you know, acrobatic kind of catches, and so they're smart enough to get him the ball and get the ball his way, and he makes it happen. So he's a guy there, but they've got others as well that you can't focus your game plan around stopping number 12, because you're going to get hurt by any number of other guys. So, you know, I think we know kind of what he does and where he lines up and how things go that way. So, you know, we've got to pay attention to him, but you can't pay attention to him at the neglect of the others, because they're all capable.
Marvin was really heavily involved against BYU, and I think even played him in safety on a few snaps. Just how important was he in that effort, and how old is he, I guess?
Yeah, he'll be doing the same. Yeah, he kind of moved back and played some of our free safety spot in certain situations and personnel groups. I think it just helps us to. He's got experience. He's played there for 2 years prior to this year, so he takes reps there anyway. And I think it'll be the same. I think he's a good coverage option for us. You know, playing free safety and some of the things that we do. Not that Taylor Davis isn't or the other guys aren't, but you know he's proven he can do it out in the field, and so you know he'll kind of vacillate back and forth between his field spot and his free safety spot, depending on you know, situations and personnel and different things. So it's good that he's got, you know, he's one of our better players. We want to keep him on the field as much as we can.
How's Taylor Davis gotten better with his time?
I thought last week was Taylor's best game. Probably didn't play quite as many reps as he had maybe the 2 or 3 weeks previous, but in terms of his ability to communicate, direct traffic confidently, accurately, and quite honestly, you know, his tackling was really improved. You know, first couple of weeks he's just throwing his guys at, you know, body at guys' shins and not wrapping up, but he's really made an effort to improve that, which he needed to, and he had a lot of success. So I'm happy for him. He's coming along, you know, pleasantly well.
With Dylan Woodkey, was that maybe his best game? He gets a sack, he has the pressure on the final stop.
Yeah, he's really a good addition this year. He works hard. He does everything right. What you tell him to do, how you tell him to do it, he does it that way. So, like I said, that pass rush he had the last play of the game, kind of that speed to power pass rush. I've seen him work on that like 100 times in practice this year. You know, when they get some special time during some special teams periods, he's not on those special teams, so he works with Mike Dawson, one of our analysts, and I've seen him work on that very thing, and so it looked just like practice. I mean, and that's the kind of kid he is, and you know, he makes full use of all the. He's a talented kid, but he makes full use of all the talent that he has, and he just continuously shows up.
When you look at Travis Hunter, does he remind you of any receivers you've had to face in the past?
No, I know. Somebody asked me that earlier too. I don't know. You know, I think of the Worthy from Texas, maybe, you know, the last couple of years, you know, very kind of similar build and speed and all those kind of things. So maybe that, but I think he's obviously he's a unique character because he's doing it on both sides of the ball, and you know, doesn't seem to get tired. So I wish he would, but he seems to keep playing. So I think it's a credit to him, and so again, we got to work cut out for us in trying to limit what he can do.